Oh shit, is it already going? I didn't fucking pay attention. Live dashboard, live stream, and it's working? Is it working? That's my main concern. Is it working better now? Can you see the full fucking screen? That's what I'm fucking worried about right now. I'm trying to make sure that it's working right. I'm sorry. I'm going to move Klonoa and see if he moves in the video, and then if he moves in the video, then I know it's working. Oh, he's moving. Okay, he's moving. We have movement. We have confirmed movement. Okay. So, here's the deal. First of all, welcome back to Klonoa for the Game Boy Advance. This is part 2. If you were here for part 1, you'll know I fucked it up in the absolute worst fucking possible way you could imagine. And that's that a whole fucking, basically 3/4 of the video you couldn't even fucking see. So, that's exactly what I know people come here to see. So, obviously, I did that. You're welcome. But more importantly, I'm really sorry. So, someday I will go back and fix that. However, it's a luxury and time I don't really have right now. And I want to actually make some good progress in this. So, there you go. That's this fucking situation. You're welcome. So there you go. Anyways, backstory, my friend let me borrow this game a long-ass time ago in a town called Kickapoo. And since then, it's been held near and dear to my heart. And it's a cute little puzzle game. I mean, anyone can pick up and play this. It's just super delightful. And like I said, part 1 is fucked up, and I had an option just now to either go back to part 1 and just do the whole first part all over again, or I'll do it later, and then until then, I'll just continue on my journey. So there you go. Fucking someday. And it'll be easy. I'll just breeze right through it. It won't be anything. I might not even have a whole lot of dialogue to add to it. You know, it'll just be me fucking blowing and going. But until then, we have this. So I'm sorry if you were absolute dead set on getting to it or whatever. But that's not the case. It happened. It was an accident, and I'm gonna move on and deal with it later. As a recompense. I don't think that's the right word I'm looking for. Either way, my friend got me into this game. It's really adorable and I love it. And it's his birthday today. His Twitter handle is RosselGethy89. And you can go find him right now and tweet at him and tell him he is just the silliest bitch on the planet. I can't duck, it's not Mario. And just give him all sorts of love. Just fucking shove his dick hole with love. I think I needed that. No, I guess not. Oh, here you go. Okay, so I gotcha. Block that fucker off. Go back up here. Get this thing. Come back here. So here's the deal. I went to meet my girlfriend. We had lunch. It was delicious. She got the same thing she usually gets, and I got fajitas, and they were delicious. And now she needs someone to help watch her kid. So what I think I'm gonna do is essentially kidnap her kid and just fucking bring her here, you know, like any good boyfriend would. And then when my girlfriend gets off work, then I'll go get her, my girlfriend, and then both my girlfriend and her kid, can just hang out with me at my house tonight. And there you go. That's the fucking plan. So, while at some point, I might actually be babysitting while streaming, maybe. Depends, because she's like 10 or 9 or something. I actually know her real age, but I'm not sure if I should be saying it on the internet. So, she is however fucking old she is, and be that as it may. There you go. That's it. I'm gonna be babysitting her. Video output low. Okay, well, what can I change about my viewing habits to... Oh, that is so fucking clever. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and shut down my videos YouTube and my Twitter. And see if that gives me any extra oomph. And we'll see if that gives me any extra oomph for my video output. To make it less shitty looking. Because I mean, you know, I've been to streams before. I've watched people stream before every now and again. I know what it's like when you're like, oh yeah, I want to fucking watch this game and, you know, listen to this asshole talk on and on about, you know, what the fuck ever. But the video quality is just fucking garbage. You can't get behind it. You can't masturbate to that. Like, I get it. And so I want to be able to provide viewers with the same fucking quality entertainment levels that anyone else would have. You know what I mean? Oh, that's on a timer. So can I shoot you through the thing? Yes, I can. Oh, oof. Barely made it. Get this. And then... Oh, fuck me. Come on, damn it. Oh, you know what? No, because I won't be able to take him with me. So I'm going to just fucking use him to get up there. Drop off here. And then use him to get up here again. Oh! Yeah! Yeah! Oh, I'm missing 7 things, so I don't know if I want to go into shit. It's probably something like right here. Yeah, it is. I can see him from here. Oh, I can see 2 things from here. I'm missing a 5. Oh, shit. Huh. Well, I'll come back and get it later, I guess. I'm not exactly going for a 100% completion, so, you know, it's whatever. But, you know, whatever. I'm just here to do this, I guess. Fix that. Man. It is unbelievable how much shit I have to do to stream and have at least some sort of decency to it. And even then, like, I'm an elephant. Fuck yeah, dude. Welcome to the elephant room. If you have any tips and tricks for a fucking noob streamer dude on how to make his video output not low and thus not fucking garbage, I would be super open to hearing your tips and tricks. And super appreciative too, so that I can provide a better viewing experience for the audience. Oh shit! Oh, okay, never mind. I almost ran into that dude. Oh, come here. Okay. So that doesn't go anywhere. These don't go anywhere. That would get me up. Oh, okay, that gets me up there. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Shit. Mr. Jan 120, you are an elephant. But you know what? That's only if you want to be an elephant. You don't have to be. You can be anything you want to be. I mean, look at me. I'm a fucking terrible goddamn streamer host. And that's all I've ever wanted to be. And here I am. Playing a goddamn childhood favorite game that I would be genuinely surprised if anyone's ever fucking heard of before. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience... Okay, well, what do you fucking want? More video? I don't know how to do that. Oh, shit. Oh, god damn it. Okay. I like how they give you the heart there. Which, mind you, if you fucking haven't taken damage yet, then it's a heart for nothing. Other than like, oh, hey, did you not fucking see those spikes happening back there? You poor bastard. You must have taken damage. Here. Oof. Alright. Alright, so oh, shit. Come here, little bastard. Come here. Would you fucking get over here, you little fuck? Alright. Oh, I guess I didn't need that after all then. Oh, yeah, no, I did, oof. Welcome back to Unnecessary Monster Grabs. I'm your host, Unnecessary, and this is my co-host, Monster Grab. Ah, shit. No fucking way. Did I seriously just mess up? Do I have to go all the fucking way back around for that one goddamn thing? Come on. Oh, you bitch. Give me a fucking... Yes! Oh, God, yes. Give me this. Give me. Fucking goddamn it. Give me. Give me a fucking dude. Come here. Come here, dude. One jump. One jump. One jump, man. One jump. One jump's all you need. Alright? God. Fuck. This is not a hard game. Besides, like, if you're not paying attention to your surroundings, I guess, or you're counting your jumps wrong, then you know what? Yeah, it can be kind of difficult. Or if that happens, where they just spawn you next to a fucking enemy, or you miss a jump. Like, there is ways to die in this game. Like, don't get me wrong. You can, and most likely will fucking die. But, also, don't get me wrong, this is not a fucking hard game. Especially because I'm only in the second world, so really shouldn't be having this much trouble to be down to one fucking heart. Although, to give myself some sort of benefit of the doubt, I will say it's probably easier with a Game Boy controller. Like, if you were playing this on its native system. Can I... Oh, okay. So I'm going to need to take this guy, go up here, use him to get to this, and then grab another one, go all the way back around. Oh, God, fuck. Good. Son of a bitch! God damn it, are you fucking... Oh. I should have grabbed. I should have grabbed, but I didn't grab, and I don't know why I didn't grab, because I should have grabbed. Oof. Let's try that again. Did I lose a whole lot? I don't think I did. I still have only 2 stars. That's pretty good, right? Okay, so yeah, we're doing great. Whatever, fuck it. Oh wait, no, I needed that. Come here, oh bastard. And then jump, and 1, and 1, 2. Done, done, Dunyan rings. I'm gonna fuck. You know, I will say, I'm pretty sure I fucking called you out on the last time that I would appreciate you to say something. And you did, if you're the same person, and that's cool. If you're the one person who's always fucking here watching me, that's awesome. I hope you fucking find it at least somewhat entertaining. Because I will assure you, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is literally me just playing a fucking video game, like... It's a game I like, and I want to share it with people. Like, alright, cool, but as far as like, oh, this poor streaming etiquette. Like, I don't fucking know streaming etiquette. I don't know if there's like a streamers guild or some shit like rules and regulation, code of conduct, kind of shit like that. You know, like I don't fucking know shit, dude. All right, I know one thing. That if I play this by myself and no one's watching, I'm gonna talk to myself regardless. So if I'm gonna fucking do that, I might as well share it, right? There you go. Aside from all that, I don't fucking know what I'm doing. I'm just here. And apparently you're just here too, so, I mean, cool. It's great. It's great. Alright, cool. I'm gonna go get my girlfriend's kid off a fucking bus in like an hour. So I'm trying to blow and go through as much of this fucking game as I can to make up for that. And then I gotta meet up with my other buddy to hang out with him, which hopefully I'll either have to pick him up at his house or his work. But either which way, my aim is to be able to just fucking hang out here. So I can keep an eye on her and also make sure she, you know, food and water. She, like, things human fucking people need to survive. And that's it. Okay, I just want to be able to hang out with my buddy and also keep an eye on my girlfriend's kid. Oh wait, oh I did it! Oh, I'm not even paying attention, I'm just fucking talking. Apparently doing pretty well with this game. Oh, please tell me this is snowboarding. Oh, yeah. Yeah, snowboarding! Oh. Oh, okay. Well, there's enemies now, which is fine. I didn't see that first one. I was not paying attention. I'm too fucking enamored by the fact that there's snowboarding again. I missed one. Oh, that was an under? Come here. Don't give it up yet. Don't give it up yet. Don't give it up yet. Yeah! Yo, I fucking know how to Klonoa. Can you oh, shit. Yo, I know how to Klonoa. I said as I fucking proceeded to very gracefully not Klonoa. Oh, ooh. Ooh. Yeah. I wonder if I can do a backflip. I don't think I've ever tried doing tricks in this game. I want to do like a jump off of a ramp or whatever, but then do a kickflip or some shit. I think that'd be cool. So just fuck this level, right? Like I just go straight on to 7, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's fucking great. Alright. Hey, should we fucking put... Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything like that. Be like, hey, should we put all these levels in? No, it's fucking not. But you know what? I gotta say. Because they do that in Mario. They do that shit in Mario too, where it's like, oh, you can warp to the next world if you fucking find this pipe. Or in Mario 3, where they're like, oh, you can, you know, warp to this whole world if you just find this one flute. It's like, alright. Mario does it too. I can't say anything. Okay, there's obviously a way to get that, but... God damn it. It's there, it's there, I gotta get it. Oh, fuck, man. Come on. Get this fucking thing, get this fucking thing. Get it! Get it! Ah, oh, God. Fuck me in the ass. Alright, I'll come back to it later. In a later date. Come here. Oh, fucker. I'm just debating if I want to stream or not when the kid gets here. I might just have to suck it up and, like, put on a movie or some shit. Because if I stream, then the fucking... First of all, I won't be able to swear as often. Or, you know, the obvious better is to not swear at all. She's a kid. Oh, there's a thing over there! I didn't fucking get it! And that's obviously the better thing to do. You know. But, you know. I mean, if you're gonna fucking... If something happens, like you're playing a game and you suddenly abruptly die for unfair causes, you're gonna swear. I don't know, maybe there's an audience for that. Maybe there's an audience for a Let's Play that Let's Plays with a kid. I'm sure there's a fucking scenario in there where I end up in jail, but I'm just saying, maybe there's a demographic and I don't know it yet. Yeah, I don't think so. Does this guy get high enough, or... No. Oh, I see your fucking game over here. Alright. Wait. No. Wait. Yeah! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Shit. I can Klonoa. Can you Klonoa? I fuck. Oh, damn it. Come here. I guess I should just let myself fall. Luckily, it doesn't take too far to get back up there. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Ja! Ooh. Oh, nice. That was good. That was a good one. I like that. Can I... Okay. Come here, you bastard. I need ya. Can I... Oh, I can't go that way. Oh, I can go this way, though. Yeah! More of that... More of this shit. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna save... Do you think I get points for that heart? Let me see. I don't want to save state, but it would come in so handy. Did I get anything for that? I didn't even see. Huh. Let's see, where's the other one? This clearly gains nothing to be elevated from, so this is obviously the right solution. Well, okay. Maybe not if that's the fucking answer. Oh, 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 oh. Look at this shit. Yeah! Yeah! Oh, baby Klonoa. Alright, so now what? This way. Obviously. Alright, there you go. Oh, fuck! Oh, okay. God damn it. No. Okay, so there's a key door. A thing for here. Absolutely fucking nothing here. Okay, ladder. No. Oh, good. I'm glad I fucking waited that one out. Jesus. Alright. Oh, why does there have to be two of them? I can't do that. Ah, shit. Alright. One of these. Oh. Okay, I see gems up there. Come on. Yeah! Ah, yeah, buddy. Shit. I can Klonoa. Oh. Hey, should we put springs in our fucking... Wow, they didn't even try to hide that key. Should we put fucking springs in this one part of the level? Yeah, totally. Should we make them go to anywhere or just be decoration? Oh, totally decoration. Okay, great. Glad. Good. I'm fucking glad. Oh, shit. Okay. That. Have I been here before? Oh! Oh, yo, I know exactly where I'm at. I got you now. Shit. Yo, I'm a fucking Klonoa master. Okay. The master is fucking rusty, but I'm the master. Clearly. No one should ever question this. I might also possibly be tired because I didn't fucking sleep at all. But that's not your fault, so everything's fine. Alright, come here, you fucker. Oh, yo, you know what? Oh, I think I'm supposed to mid-air grab him anyways, like it suggests. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. I think I can make that. And yeah, timing, motherfucker. That's what the essence of comedy is. Timing. And the essence of platforming games. Timing. And the essence of, like, pretty much any fucking game, especially a first-person shooter. Timing. The room next door revolves. Activate the switch to make it revolve, and Klonoa can go to different places. Okay. Like... Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. This is some Sonic Adventure shit. Oof. Oof. I don't know about this. Okay. So is that like a pit of death now, or no? Alright, well. At least the first fucking floaty room was easy, I guess. Alright, I still need a third star. Gotta get my Jew power up there, you know? Oh, here you go. I gotta say, you know what? In retrospect, I'm probably not the prime suspect for this. Whatever you would call this. Streaming, YouTubing. Oh, are you fucking serious? I gotta... Okay. Alright. Ah, damn it. Alright, 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 now it's fucking... I did it before, I'll do it again. So I have to have a jump that clears not only that stretchy platform, but then also time it to land on that fucking swivelly platform. And are you fucking kidding me? Ooh, ah, damn it. It fucking... Okay. Alright. Alright. So, give it some leeway. Push it down. Some leeway down. Come on. Yeah. Nope. Don't know why I thought that was going to make it. Okay. Bah, God damn it. Maybe if I'm like not pushing forward, because it gets too close to my fucking hitbox and then it goes the opposite direction. Like, okay, I get that, but I'm also trying to fucking board this thing, and the timing isn't exactly helping me. Oof. Like, I need to know a good starting point, you know? Like, if you were to say, here, play Super Mario World, go to the one on the left first, because that'll help you get to the fucking palace faster, to change every yellow block dotted line into a yellow block solid line, you know? Like, that's some good hints. That's some direction. This one, not so much. I mean, I guess it's just fucking self-explanatory, but I don't know, a timer when to jump, or like a probability of landing if you do it just right would be nice. So I can watch it raise to 90 and then do it. Oh god! Fucking damn it, I was on it. I was on it. Oh my god. I was on the goddamn platform. I was right there. I was... Alright. No, it's good. It's good. I love being fucking tired. And yeah! Yeah, fuck you! Take me to the door, bitch. Take me to the door. Take me all the way. I don't even know where it's at. I seem to be lost again. Ugh. It's gotta be here somewhere. Is there a map? No. No. Oh, there. Ah, there it is. There it is. Alright. Now I just gotta get back up there. That's easier done than said. Also, can I just say, these blocks that are apparently super heavy that I can lift because I have some Power Ring or some shit. A lot of them are really fucking cute. Like, I don't think anything in this game really needs to be anywhere near this cute. But it just basically every fucking thing is. Like the thing I just... Like, look at this thing. It looks like a lotus flower cup. Sort of. And these little fucking vase-looking motherfuckers. Where's my mouse? Oh, it's not gonna show my mouse. Never mind. I had that said to not detect the mouse. Either way, I was gonna say, there's a fucking, those little vases down there. I'm sure they're vases. But they look like little fishies. Fat ass fishies. Done! Onion rings, we're out of here. Next, please. Vision 2 to 6. I told my girlfriend I was gonna have god powers and fix my glasses. Because my glasses are kind of falling apart. But also I have no money. Which, you know, doesn't help the whole... Oh, are you fucking... What is this, a slow rise goddamn level? Are you fucking kidding me? Is this a goddamn auto... Oh my fucking god, it is. I didn't even notice that. The goddamn auto-scrolling level. Ugh. Alright, I got it. I got you. I got you. You think you can't fucking... Oh! Oh, you think you're so good because you have a fucking vertical load. I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. Scroll. You think you're so good because you have a vertical scroll. Yeah. Yeah, you totally earned that death against me, huh? Fucking prick. Fuck you, I'm the Klonoa Master. You don't know shit about me, or my clan, or where I come from, or anything like that. I am totally not dying. I'm not panicking. This isn't panic. This is not fear. This is wonderment and amazement. I'm so fucking happy right now. It's great. No, it's, I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. I don't even care. I don't even care. There's a gym over here. Do I care? No. Did I get it? Yes. Because I like to go that one step above and beyond to get all the things. And I'm fucking doing it again. I'm falling behind. But you know what? I think it's the game's way of telling me, you got this, son. You can do it. You just gotta fucking do it and believe in yourself. Forget the gems. Maybe not all the time get them, you know what I mean? I mean, sometimes you just gotta leave the important stuff behind and know who your real friends are. Can't fucking build a bridge unless you burn it again to get the materials to then build another bridge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. And if you were a Klonoa Master, you would fucking get it too. And I wouldn't have to tell you this. But you're not, so I do. And that's the honor. God damn it! Oh, I was doing so well. Yeah, start me with the fucking beginning, because that's what people want to see. This same fucking shit over and over again. Get over here. There's a fucking thing. Ooh, I got it. And then you go over here, and there's the fucking whatever. Red ball. Another red ball. A fucking gym, which I didn't get, because I'm a fucking idiot. Now I'm falling behind. You better hurry. Fuck that blue gym. I don't even care. I got the green one, though. That's good enough, right? Maybe I should just kill myself to get another chance to get the blue gym. Go for 100% completion. All gyms, all stages, all character cheats unlocked. Pop, shove it, 360, kick, flip to become Spider-Man with unlimited grind railing. Rail grinding. Because he's a Spider-Man and has spider senses. Do you get it? Cool. I can't jump. I fucking goddamn it. Alright. I'm gonna sit up for this one. I'm gonna sit up. Like, I was slouched over, kinda. Like, comfortably seated, you know, as you do when you game. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm fucking around. I'm gonna do this hardcore style. I'm gonna fucking pixel perfect every goddamn jump in the game. This is like Mario Brothers, Smash Brothers, shoulda rolled, shoulda dodged. God damn it. I can't, I fucking can't. And I don't even have to do this level, apparently. I don't, but I'm going to. Because I fucking can Klonoa. I can Klonoa with the best of those motherfuckers. You don't even know how well I can Klonoa. I went to the store and I met a polar bear and he said, what would you do for a Klonoa bar? And I said, first of all, that's not a real food. Second of all, you're a fucking polar bear. You shouldn't even be talking to me. He said, you know what? You raise a good point, but I don't see what that has to do with anything. Oh, fuck you. Yeah! Can I get a fucking checkpoint, please? I'm doing so well. There's a gym over here. I know there is. Oh, what the fuck? Now there's no gym there? Oh, no. 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 You will not fall behind. You will get the gyms. Get the gyms, Bentley Bear. I don't even know what that's from, but Danny says it, and I love Danny. I'd suck his wiener if he let me. Checkpoint! Fuck you, me. Fuck you, me. Fuck me, you. I'm done with that part. If I die, it doesn't fucking matter. I'll just respawn right here. In fact, I might die just for the hell of it. How many lives do I have? 13? Lucky number 13. Alright, you know what? I just need to calm down. Just need to take a breather. You know? Everything's fine. This game's fun. I'm having fun. It's my friend's birthday today. You know that? That's why I'm playing this fucking game. To commemorate our own friendship. Because he gave me this fucking game. God damn it! And, I'm gonna go get my girlfriend's kid off the bus, and... No! Okay, okay, that's okay. That's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I thought I was starting from the beginning again. So I'm calm. I'm very calm. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I don't even have gamer rage. You said to me, hey, you have gamer rage, and I say, who are you and how did you get in my house? But also I say, you're wrong, because I am Zen. I am one with the Klonoa. He is my body and I am his vessel. And he is my bread, and I drink his blood as though it were wine. Luckily for me, it's got a high alcohol per volume content, so I can get fucking smashed off like... God damn it! Get back down here. Go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. Yes! Yes, yes, yes. Give me that fucking gem. Yes. Ah, ha, ha. Okay, okay. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Please, keep going. Why am I not getting that coin? It stopped. Ooh. No. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna go get my fucking girlfriend's kid off work. We're gonna hang out, hopefully here. Go get my buddy when he gets off work. Hang out, hopefully here. Fucking cook three of us some food with some leftovers for my girlfriend because she's beautiful and I love her and she loves me. Even though, oh god damn it! Even though I'm a huge pain in her ass. And I will not pass up an opportunity to try to get a giggle out of her. We ran into a buddy of mine at the mall, and he is a gay man, and I love him dearly, and he is a good friend, and he is very ripped and very jacked, and I hugged him and squeezed his muscles right in front of her, and just kept saying how jacked he was over and over again, to which both of them were just like, tee hee hee. I like how that one guy was just standing there like, I guess I'll just fucking wait for the one guy to come by and pick me up and use me as a fucking up B. I'm not going for that one gem. It's one fucking gem. It's one gem. You know what I mean? Like, why break that omelet? You know? Oh, come on! It was right there! Oh, is that 98? Oh. Oh my god. I am so fucking ready to be done with this fucking level. And you know the best part is? I hope you know what the best part is. You know the best part is, right? There's more. There's more of these stages just like this. And they all reward you for getting all the goddamn gems. Oh, here's one. Here's one for the books. I bet you that shit's like 24 fucking carat. Do you even know what a carat is? I don't. I know what a C-A-R-R-O-T carat is. And I know what a I know what a K-A-R-O-T is. Yeah. I know. Oh, god damn it! I know what a carrot and a Kakarot is, but I don't know what a carrot and a gem is. I think someone said it's like how fucking shiny it is. So it's like, okay. Then why don't you just call it shiny meter? It's shinometer, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, just keep it simple, man. Fucking carrots, and it's not even vegetable carrots. You can't eat them. But if you call it shinometer, it's like, oh yeah, that's how fucking rad it shines. Unless you use a shinometer to measure how many carrots is in a diamond. I think that makes way more sense. Would you fucking get the goddamn fucking green guy already? Jesus Christ. 90. I'm at 90. 92. We're almost done. Alright. I got 2 hearts. Don't fuck it up. 97. 98. 99, 100. Ha 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 ha. I did it. I did it. Yay me. I did the thing. Oh my god. Alright. Vision 2-7. Holy shit. Yo, come here. Uh-oh. Also, I just noticed there's 3 keys down there, so they're getting longer. Ah, ha ha ha, ha ha. God, fuck, damn it. Come here, come here, come here, you fucking. Oh, you fucking piece of shit. You're lucky that I don't even need to go that way. Clearly, I'm going this way. Nope. Nope. Come here. Okay, alright. Wait, what's up here? What's up here? Is there a... Yeah, okay. So... That's not happening. Oh, I get it. Come here. I gotta fucking... Wait, yeah. Wait for him. Ride the... Okay. Ride the wind. Wait for him again. Over. Over. Done. And then, you know, wait for him. But, over. Done. 1 key down. 2 to go, apparently. And... Why is the first fucking key I get not useful on either of the 2 doors I've only come across so far? Give your fucking goddamn green bloated ass piece of shit. You fucking parrot looking ass motherfucker. Nope. 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 That ain't the way to go. Nope. What about this way? Is there a door down here? There is. Not the kind I need. I guess I better fucking just go around. Oh, look. A red guy. Is there a goddamn red door? Yes. Fucking direction. Done. Okay. Next. Stairwell. Yes. Let's do it. Next. Done. Gap. Done. Next. Alright. Green guy. Come here. Can I fucking... Can you gonna come up more? No? Okay. I mean, I guess. If I had to pick... Huh. Oh, God damn it. You fucking... Okay, come here. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, then just... Yeah. Done. 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 And then... Oh, wait. Just in case. Because I fucking know better than to just run in all willy-nilly and not have some sort of ammo behind. Oh, okay. I bet you just jump up like that, huh? Kia! Yeah! Fuck you and your goddamn puzzle of whatever the fuck. Move. And take you. Fuck you. Alright. Oh. 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 Okay. Oh, come here. Ew. The time is now 4 p.m. Okay, so here's the deal. The kiddo gets off the bus. Roughly, the bus shows up around, more or less, usually like 4:30, 4:45, give or take. Somewhere in that rough span of time. It varies depending on weather and, you know, how much trouble the bus driver has to go through, I guess. It just varies is all. So I'm going to desperately try and get through this level. Are you gonna fucking get out of my goddamn way here, or no? Okay. I'm gonna desperately try and get through this level just as fast as I can and as best as I can, because I'm making muffins as best as I can too. I want to okay, I was gonna say I want to believe there's something down there, and I just blew over it for the thrill of jumping over stuff, only to find out there's spikes down there. So no, I'm not missing anything. Really, just want to get through this level, and so I'm not leaving it on a goddamn cliffhanger. You know what I mean? Like, that's just rude. But also, what would be more rude is not getting my girlfriend's kid off the bus. In fact, not only would it be rude, but she'd be horribly pissed. And I guess this is the only way to go. So, I'm going to try and get through this just as fast as I can, as best as I can. Okay, my computer didn't freeze, my mic is still going. Oh, okay, no, there we go. The game froze, by the way. I'm sure that was seen, but I don't know if you understood. Maybe it was like, you could just be like, oh no, the stream froze. It's like, no, the actual game froze. Alright, we got a door. I might just have to save state. I don't want to do that. I always like leaving off on a definitive note, like, oh, we've gotten this definitive far in the actual game. Unlike, oh, it's a fucking cliffhanger, you know. But I mean, honestly, that's looking like what it's gonna have to happen, and I'm sorry. That's very probably not professional. Although I'm clearly anything but professional because I don't even fucking know what I'm doing. So there you go. I guess take that for what it's worth. I've got a kid to go pick up. I mean, that's got to be explained, right? There you go. That should be all the fucking explanation I need. I have an obligation to pick up my girlfriend's kid, who someday will be my kid, by extension, not by like weird thing. What? Can I do that? No, fucking. Huh. Alright then. Huh. Not sure what to do here. Oh, you know what? No, I got it. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I literally just did this a fucking level ago. There we go. Oh, fuck yes, baby. I got a green fucking... Fuck you. Yo, I got a green key. Holy shit. I've only ever seen the red and blue key. It's like... I didn't know the fucking... Oh. No, it's... Oh, yeah, no, come here. No, no. Come back, please. I saw that heart there, and it's really tantalizing. I don't even need it. I just really want it. That too. That too. Alright. Oh, you did not fucking just... Oh, no, never mind. It's all good. This is the way to go. There's a green key door, like, right over here, I think. Nope, that's a red key door. It's green. Green key's up here. I am learning my way around as I go. And I would like to remind you that, yes, I played this game a long-ass fucking time ago. But that is a long-ass, one-off long fucking time ago. So, I'll be goddamned if I remember, like, every little last detail and shit where I'm just like, oh, I know where everything is. Like, I don't fucking know anything anymore. I remember the first world and, like, some of the third, I think. If I'm even thinking about the right fucking rule at this point. Oh, man. What time is it? What time is it? Oh, god damn it. Okay. Alright. I don't like doing this, but I know I'm only like 1 star away. It's right there. But I have to. I'm sorry. This is not cool, I know. So we're going to say pause game on this screen here. Save game 1. Whole state 1. Alright. I'm really sorry. My whole day has been erratic from having to make a video, edit it, and upload it, and deal with that. And of course, you know, while that's doing that, I can't really stream. I guess I could, but I can almost guarantee my internet's nowhere near good enough. So, you know, did that, streamed a little, went to go eat lunch with my girlfriend, streamed a little more, and now I gotta go do that. So, I'm really sorry. I know this is anything but professional, which I'm anything but professional. And Mr. Jan 120, Mr. Elephant in the room, you're the man. Ha! Thank you so much. I don't know if you're the same person that's always here. If you are, you're the fucking coolest elephant I know. And thank you. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. And I know my hello and welcome back to whatever. I'm your host, whatever. Like, you know, I got that for days, but I don't know how to end anything. So I'm just gonna hit stop streaming and then hope that sorts itself.